Hey guys, this is Jay with another video. I know when I was talking about Nintendo Switch and their microtransactions, I said I was going to talk about Xbox. I gave it a couple of days because I definitely wanted to let it sink in. To be quite honest, I really thought that the price hikes was a joke. Even though it's not April, I really thought that the announcement of the price hikes was a joke. I thought that that was just some kind of crazy marketing campaign that Microsoft was going to do, and it was going to be like, yeah, all of our systems, like all our controllers, and now all our games are going to go up in price. And there was like, at the end of the commercial or the end of the ad or the end of the announcement, they'd be like, psych. We would never do that. What kind of company would do that? What kind of company would raise their prices and take advantage of the consumers and then kind of pan over to like a PlayStation or a Switch? I really thought Microsoft was getting all their ducks in a row, and they finally saw the light. They were playing chess and not checkers. But this recent announcement of every last one of their series consoles, whether it be the S or the X, went up substantially. And quite frankly, I can't believe it. I don't understand why Microsoft would do that at this time, like the worst time, with Sony selling PS5 Pro that honestly you can only see the difference between it and the base model PS5. If you have them side by side and go frame by frame, you're paying an extra almost $200 for what, small increments in performance. I thought PS5 Pro was the biggest waste of money. I thought the biggest con this generation kind of was the PS5 Pro. And then Nintendo with their price hikes and all their news with the Switch 2, which we kind of discussed in the last video. And I was honestly advocating to all my friends and everybody who could hear me that Microsoft was the most pro-consumer console this generation. When you look at it, it had the cheapest budget-friendly console with the Series S and X, honestly. You had the best subscription service with Game Pass, because let's be real, it is the best subscription service by far. The fact that you're able to play AAA titles, first-party titles, indie titles, it's a digital rental service. And for the game selection, the price you can't beat. One thing I wanted to point out with the fact that they're so pro-consumer is, even though Game Pass may be going up in price, they're the only, out of the big three, Sony, Nintendo, and Xbox, they were the only one that allowed you to basically earn Game Pass for free by doing what you were normally doing. If you didn't already know, Microsoft has Microsoft Rewards, or I guess it's also called Bing Rewards, and it's integrated into the Xbox ecosystem. Last year, it was great because you can get points for doing all types of stuff, getting achievements every day, playing certain games for 10 minutes, getting an achievement in a certain game, you got like 100 points. And even watching like stuff on Bing, like exercise videos, advertisements, you got points. Browsing, you got points. Searching through Bing website, you got points. Using the Bing app, you got points. And these points really add up really fast. And folks, I have not paid a dime for Game Pass in two to three, maybe say 4 years almost, because of Microsoft Rewards. I haven't paid for Game Pass. So think about that. You have the cheapest or cost-friendliest console that is still current gen. You have a subscription service that offers you all of these games, huge library, and first-party titles at no additional cost, and now Call of Duty. Hopefully they'll add World of Warcraft on there, because honestly I think people would lose their minds if you can have an online subscription to World of Warcraft along with Call of Duty, along with all some of the other titles that Activision Blizzard acquired. But yeah, having all of that and then not having to even pay a dime for those games is insane. What you're looking at right now is my Series S. I just bought this earlier this week. I bought it Tuesday night from Facebook Marketplace. $150. It's a great deal. Even before the price hikes, it's a great deal because the console MSRP is $299. But then literally 2 days after I got this, Microsoft announced the price hike. And I really thought I was lucky. I was really lucky because this console, is basically all I would need. I can get me an external hard drive at a later date, but just to play Call of Duty, I know, Call of Duty. I play Fortnite. I'm also playing Expedition 33, which is a phenomenal game on Game Pass. I can't wait for Doom: The Dark Ages. I believe that's going to be possible game of the year. And all of those games that I mentioned are with Game Pass. So I'm really trying to understand why Microsoft, out of the big three, was the least selling console this generation. Out of the big three, doesn't have the biggest promotions or advertising, or they're not in the most homes in the U.S. and all of that. So numbers wise, they're number 3 out of 3. They're the bottom of the ranking. And they're not selling consoles. So why? If your console is not already selling and it's a budget-friendly console, why would you raise the price overnight? Consoles, controllers, the games are going to be going to $80 by the holiday season. Folks, I'm very disappointed in Microsoft and their decision. And you should be too, because this makes no sense. Folks, these consoles, the PS5, the Xbox Series, even the GameCube, we're talking about at least 5 years. And normally this is what we call your mid-gen refresh period, where they bring out smaller, cheaper versions of the hardware. And no one this generation has done that. Instead, they brought out newer consoles with bigger hard drives, more expensive. And these consoles did not drop in price at all. Amazingly, the PS5 in other countries raised the price. And then Xbox was like, hold my beer, and just raised the price on everything overnight. Which makes the Series S, which is what you're looking at once again, $399. So when I bought this for $150, that's insane. You have to be careful with how you spend your money. And I think this is the most pivotal time to show that to these companies. As much as I want to advocate and say Microsoft out of the three was doing the best, they were definitely pro-consumer up until this week. I'm not going to make any excuse for any company that does this type of stuff. These consoles should be cheaper by now. These consoles should be, like the Series S should be $199. The Series X should be $349, $399 at best. The controllers should not be going up. They should be cheaper. So folks, do like I did. Go to Mercari, eBay, Facebook Marketplace. Do your due diligence. Save your money. I'm still trying to figure out why this decision was made. Why did Microsoft do it? And I'm really let down because this was I have a PS5, I'll admit. I have a PS5. I have an OG Switch. I'm not pre-ordering the Switch 2. I'm not getting it probably for a while, if I ever get it, because I don't really see the value right now. But I played my Xbox every day because of Game Pass and the great selection of titles that Game Pass provides. So for them to do this does not make any sense. So what do you think? Why did they raise the price? Because it'd be different if they were just selling off the shelves and it was the hardest to find system and it was in huge demand. But they're not. They're not. This system is everywhere. Pawn shops, GameStops, Facebook Marketplace, Mercari. I've seen the Xbox Series X for sale for like $299, $280, $300. Now, of course, now you probably see people noticing the trend and they'll raise those prices. But if you're going to get an Xbox, I would definitely, don't pay retail. Please do not pay retail because it's still a great system for what it does. And I know that they have rumors of a new system with Steam integration. And I swear to God, I hope that that's true. But I'm going to kind of be standoffish on it, knowing that they just did this with their current gen model. So folks, what do you think? Those are just my thoughts. I'm very disappointed. I'm kind of glad that I jumped on this when I did. But what are your thoughts? Why would they do that? Is there some grand scheme? Are they pushing for a Game Pass? Or are they just making the consoles so expensive so that you just see a better value in Game Pass so that you can use it on your Fire Stick or your smart TV or your PC? I just don't understand it. So let me know what your thoughts. This is Jay. Have a good one.